I was receiving when adults would praise me or kids would approach me like I was a celebrity. Last year during year 12, I hit a wall in faith, like really, really badly. While it looked like I was popular, I didn't really have any close friends. While I was struggling to balance all things in my life, a lot of circumstances in my family led me to being all of their caretakers, and I was living on my own for a period of time too. And I felt that if I never left my bed, nobody would notice. I had begun to resent God. Every day of that year, it felt like more and more horrible things were happening to me and the people I loved. I felt like such a fraud, being a leader of different communities and even admitted to them that I'm the last person they should be looking up to. It had felt like God had forgotten about me when my new car had been totaled from a bad crash. It had felt like God had forgotten me when I tried to be a good person, but was faced with people I trusted trying to take advantage of my vulnerability. While I can't say all the details up here on stage, it felt like there was no healing or resolution to these never-ending situations I was put in. I started drinking a lot of alcohol to drown out the overwhelming and never-ending uncomfortableness and disgust with life. I was drinking every single night, at times living out of a suitcase, waking up on the floor of different houses. I tried to find different ways to hurt myself out of so much anger at myself, and that I was so tired of carrying this weight on my own. I didn't value my life, my future, at a time when everyone else my age was studying. Evidently, I gave up on every area I was serving in because that shame pierced me like a disease. Also, because I valued validation so much, receiving criticisms from those same people hurt me so deeply. I was in the public eye a lot, the center of a lot of gossip. My most difficult situations I had been in didn't lead to sympathy, but rather judgment or just straight up. After that, I wondered what it meant to actually trust. After HSC, I traveled a lot and was never in one place, and it actually made me realize how much I missed church. It was the only stability I have ever had in my unstable life. I thought that maybe if I just naturally went with the flow in the life of faith and thought about how I wanted to serve my house church members, but was too shameful to show my face at church. The reason why I was in so much pain was because God had never let go of me. If God really let go of me, I wouldn't have let out small prayers to maybe turn my life around or have a small desire to return to church. The only way I was going to grow was if I was in a position where I felt like I couldn't get back up. Once I fell that low, the position I was put in was to kneel before God, who is above it all. I realized why I went through certain seasons. I started to commit myself to authentic one-on-one relationships, truly valuing and serving others out of love for them that comes from them. Now I realize the meaning of Psalm 146:3, to not indulge in those past addictions regardless of my emotions. And I wouldn't have acquired these gifts if I didn't go through trials, because innately I am a sinful person who always lacks. I am thankful for my seasons of doubt because it made me question what I was doing wrong in my practice of faith. I used to be in a cycle where I'd feel shameful of myself, so on purpose I would sin to further separate myself from God out of a belief that I was someone unworthy of his love. But the grace of God outweighs it all. His love for us is boundless. Proverbs 3:25 says, "The wise inherit honor, but fools only get shame." We have been called to live in God's honor, and this is the identity I will hold myself accountable in. I am no longer a slave to sin, and I rejoice in all that I have learned because getting to know myself and the Lord has given me these values and lessons that are protecting me as I step into adulthood. And I will continue to thirst and hunger for more knowledge that comes from God. Currently, I'm also filled with so much joy, realizing my attitude to God has changed. I used to think I loved him because he's someone who's supposed to answer my prayers. But now I view him as my father who knows what's best for me, comforts me in prayer, and when he hasn't answered the prayers I wanted him to, I am grateful he did it in a different way, because his way is always better, and that is trust. For a long time, I thought maturity in faith meant doing more for God. But through this season, I learned that maturity first meant being with God. My coping mechanism in life since I was a child was to be in control. Controlling outcomes, relationships, and my self-image has sadly done more harm than good to both myself and my relationships. But now I surrender. Nothing belongs to me. It belongs to God, so I trust. Hearing my story, I also ask that you please don't see me as strong, but only see how good God is. I want my story only to glorify him this time. And to those who are struggling in a season of life, it is okay to be sad and take moments of rest. It's okay if you're doubting God and feel injustice. But I ask that you hold on to that hope that your efforts are recognized by the Lord, and that one day, no matter how terrible the situation is, you will look back and see God's love over it all. I would love to thank Shepherd's wife, Rebecca, for her talented ability to teach over the course of this study, and my house church members that have showered me with so much love to heal and help me know the Lord's love. Thank you and God bless.